Welcome to the BEASTwriter Family, where social media engagement is encouraged. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today on this Family Friday, we're going to be discussing Fred Warner's injury, how that's going to impact the team moving forward, how it should not be taken lightly. These are things that I've been talking about, well, since day one, right? Fitness is part of what I do, being NASM trained, National Academy of Sports Medicine. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the dynamics of how that hamstring injury is going to hold up for the remainder of the season, why the 49ers should be cautious with the strength and conditioning program. Again, I've been highly critical of the strength and conditioning program since day one. I have friends, I know people, obviously I'm in the industry, and people, we all talk about it. We all talk as we watch practice, and I don't know. They do things that are just like very, how should we say, old school. And it's no wonder these injuries are starting to pile up. I talked about it before the season began. And I said, don't be surprised. Not trying to jinx it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not really jinxing it. It's up to the strength and conditioning program to get it right. But at some point, you have to blame the coaches, right? At some point, the players can only do so much. So it's up to the coaches and the coaching staff and the physical therapists to get them right. And again, I don't know what to tell you other than it's going to be something that's going to be a focal point of the team's future moving forward in terms of how they're going to handle that injury. Here's the thing, all right? And again, I'm waiting for people to come in. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. If you have yet to do so, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Also, do me a solid if you're just tuning in. Hit the like button. It really does a solid for the YouTube algorithm. Really helps me out. Helps YouTube kind of gauge on what people should be seeing or showing in their feed as well. So if you guys like the content, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys like the content and want to support the work, there is a money icon in the lower right-hand corner of your iPhone, tablet, Android, whatever the case may be, whatever you're on, laptop, desktop. And you can send me a super chat or super sticker. Or if you're on Twitter and follow me on Twitter, there is a money icon now. Twitter just released this tips function for me. It's called a tips or donation function. And in my profile, there is also a money icon where you can kind of send tips straight through Venmo. So if you use Venmo, it's linked to your Venmo account through Twitter. So it's all good and dandy. And people have been doing that. So thank you everyone that's been throwing me money as we get better audio equipment and so forth, because my audio craps out all the time. Jan Paul Edward DDL says they just invested top money for him. Smart play would be to take care of your investment. Yes. So my man JP, he's on Discord. He actually is in charge of the Arizona Cardinals function. Or why do I call it function? Fan base. Well, it is typically a function on that platform. So go ahead and if you guys like football, like JP, he found me from YouTube. And he really knows his stuff with the Arizona Cardinals. He keeps it real, even though he's a rival, right? My man JP, he says straight up, they just invested top money for him. Smart play would be to take care of your investment. Yes, this offseason, he was the top paid off-ball middle linebacker in the entire NFL. And then that was re-upped by Darius Leonard, obviously, because he's the better off-ball linebacker. But with that being said, I mean, yeah, you have to protect your investment. I always talk about instant gratification versus long-term gains, right? We talk about Fred Warner, instant gratification and long-term gains. And when we talk about that injury, it's really something that you shouldn't be taking lightly. Look, I run grades of all the important players around the league, whether it be rookies, second-year players, risers in my BWF grading system, all-pros, Pro Bowl talented players, you name it. I grade it, right? I grade all 16 games every single week, right? Depending on, of course, bye weeks and stuff. And now we have Saturday games, but you guys get the picture, right? Every week I grade every single team, all right? If you guys remember, Roquan Smith, all right, who plays the exact same position. Now he plays in the 34 base, not a 4-3 front. But he's still an off-ball linebacker, still defends the same area of zone coverages and being asked to cover running backs coming out of the flat, just like Fred Warner is. Sometimes mirror matching cover one, right? Or being the cover one hole player. We see these things with Roquan Smith because that's the same position and type of position that Fred Warner plays. He went down to a hamstring injury in week 12, okay? Roquan Smith playing the same position as Fred Warner went down to a hamstring injury week 12. All right, get this. He played week 13 lost a step in my grading system. What I mean by that is when he would see the run fit, he would hit it hard. But if you look at week 13's film, he kind of lost a step due to that hamstring. So they rushed him back too early. My opinion. My opinion, right? Week 14. Fast forward to week 14. Now they're like, okay, well, we dodged a bullet week 13. Even though he lost a step, he's still better than at 75% than the backup player, which is true. But again, you're risking injury. And Roquan Smith is in a contract year, right? He's going to re-up the market. Anyways, he's a 2018 first round pick, drafted number 8 overall out of Georgia, right? One pick ahead of right tackle Mike McGlinchey. He was my draft crush, obviously. Roquan Smith was not right tackle Mike McGlinchey. But fast forward to today, right? He's going to be in line for a new contract. He's entering that 5th-year option, and then you're going to want to re-up him. So usually deals get done before they enter that final year of the contract. So now it's set instead of having to negotiate once that contract year runs out. And he came back week 14, re-aggravated hamstring. Boom, he's out. All right. Hamstring injuries typically, no matter the grade, right? No matter the grade of the strain, it's typically a 3 to 4 week injury. 3 to 4 week injury. All right. What we saw is they rushed him back. He re-aggravated it. Now he's out. Fast forward. Let's take another player in my grading system. Derwin James, another first team All-Pro level in my grading system, right? Derwin James, strong safety for the Los Angeles Chargers, hurt his hamstring last week, didn't play, rushed him back, all right? Rushed him back, got a text message here, rushed him back, and what happened? Re-aggravated his hamstring last night against the Kansas City Chiefs in a must-win game, because let's be honest, that's a playoff game. They're fighting for the AFC West. They're fighting for seeding purposes. They're fighting for that wild card berth, right? Because one of them's going to win it. That was a playoff game. It was a must-win game. Same thing this week with the 49ers. Fred Warner, hamstring injury. Here he enters. Like, I'm not going to try to jinx it, but I'm just saying they need to be careful. And it throws off the kinetic chain. I talked about this earlier and how it throws off the kinetic chain when it comes to Fred Warner. Or any other player. And now I'm not saying Fred Warner's going to get hurt. I mean, Fred Warner's the beast. He's the heart and soul of that defense. He's going to want to play, but it's up to the freaking coaching staff to pull back the player sometimes and protect him from himself. Every player is going to want to play. What player is going to say, no, I don't want to play, coach, or, no, because then the coach can be like, what, you don't have heart? You can't coach heart. You either have it or you don't. But at the end of the day, it's up to the freaking coaching staff to pull back the player. And if Fred Warner gets hurt, just like Derwin James did, just like Roquan Smith did, their season's gone. You can't win without Fred Warner. I mean, it's a team game, but let's be honest, it's Fred Warner. We have my man Waruna Pereira in the house. Waruna, get ready to hop on the show. How are you?
My bad. I was on mute. I'm doing
You're
good.
How are you?
Is there echo?
Turn down your mic a little bit because I can hear an echo.
1 second.
We have Waruna Pereira here from SI, Grant Sports Illustrated, all 49ers SI. Waruna does a really good job with his predictions. He does a solid job. Dude, I told you should have wrote that Kyle Shanahan piece, bro.
I wrote some
looking
pieces,
back,
not really.
Looking back, dude, I remember I was at the gym. I was like, bro, I need to talk to you, bro. You need to write this piece. But hey, the Beast receipts check out because I have your back, dude. Like you called it first. You called it first.
Yes.
What's on your mind, man? How you doing today?
Doing good. Have to face an interview in another 30 minutes. So just getting prepared to it. And I saw that you are online. So just came up.
That's good. That's good. Go
I
ahead.
was thinking now, you called earlier about our draft picks. Ambry Thomas, William Delano, then Aaron Banks. So how confident are you moving forward with this organization with regards to their draft picks even next year? Because for another 2 years, we don't have first round picks. So we have to hit our second round, third round draft picks. How confident are you?
I'm not very confident because I've done the math and ran that analytics in my grading system. I have a grading system specifically for draft grades, and I've been doing that, forever. So I look at 2017, which is the first year that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were at the helm right there, and then you cross check that to forget the rest of the NFL. Let's cross check against the NFC West. All right, just within their own division, and they don't do a very good job at drafting talent in the first 3 rounds. I mean, you take away that 2019 NFL draft, really, who have they landed on in the top 3 rounds of the draft on day 1 or day 2 picks? And I think if I am a GM or if I am someone that's looking at it from an outsider's perspective, which I am, I think you have to hit on those top 3 picks for a number of different reasons. One, salary cap health plays a role, right? And if you're not hitting on those players at the top of the draft, because ultimately that's what you get graded on. Rounds 5 through 7 is a crapshoot at best, and you can disagree with me or agree with me, but at the end of the day, let's face it. In real time, as we cross-check in hindsight, it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, well whatever." Like, no, bro. Like in real time, they dropped to the 5th round for a reason, all right, or went undrafted for a reason. So let's not get it twisted that if every other team is in line with your thinking, why they fall to the 6th or 7th round or 5th round for like DJ Jones or whatever, whatever the case may be, 5th, 6th round, right? Later rounds. But you have to hit on the top 3 picks, all right? Top 3 rounds, right? Whatever the case may be. What happens with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch is they reach for need, diminishing the value of the pick year in and year out. They did it with right tackle Mike McGlinchey. I knew they were going to do it. Here we are today. I knew they were going to do it with Javon Kinlaw. I said... Gosh, I knew they should have kept DeForest Buckner. Everyone was saying, "Oh no, we got Javon Kinlaw. We're going to get Javon Kinlaw." I was like, "No, this guy's going to be a proverbial boomer bust prospect. He has damaged knees. There's a lot of," and I'm not throwing shade. And this is before he was even on the Niners. I was just calling how I see
Yes.
it. Here we are today. And they're like, "Oh, we can't afford DeForest Buckner because he's not Aaron Donald money." I said, "No, this is what you do right after the Super Bowl ended because everybody's going to want more money." I said, "You should cut Richard Sherman. You know, you save 12.9 million cap savings." This is all in my YouTube live stream. Or not live stream, it was a static video. I said 12.9 million savings off the books. You save that, roll that money into DeForest Buckner, who is already playing on a 5th-year option. I mean, check the Twitter Beast receipts. They check out. And I said, and then don't use that money to re-sign Eric Armstead, a 1-year wonder. Let's face it, Eric Armstead, and here's the thing. You know, Eric Armstead's quiet for a reason. Usually he attacks me or Grant at some point in time. We're waiting for it. Trust me. Because we're two bums in the pod. His words, not ours. But the fact of the matter remains this, right? If there was no validity in our reporting, he wouldn't care what we have to say in the first place. If we were nobody, he wouldn't care. The fact that he's chiming back at us and he's staying quiet now, I mean, let's face it. He entered the league in 2015, all right? He was a first-round pick drafted by GM Trent Baalke at the time. All right. They actually traded down from, I think it was from 15 to 17, if I'm not mistaken. And they got draft picks, who we saw like Blake Bell, right? Blake Bell, who's now off to the Kansas City Chiefs, got a ring with them. The Belldozer. I'm really good friends with him. But he was part of that deal. The Chargers got Melvin Gordon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they also yield a guy by the name of Ronald Blair, right, at Appalachian State as a late round pick. This is all the top of my head. You can cross check. I don't have Wikipedia in front of me, but I'm just doing this off the top of my head. What I am saying is, look, he had one good year coming in 2015. 2019 was his contract year. So every player, if you look in 2021, all these players in contract years are going to ball out of control because they know that the NFL stands for not for long. The average lifespan in the NFL is 2 to 3 years, if you're lucky.
Yes.
If you're lucky. So you're going to want to ball out.
I'm just going to disturb you over there for one reason. I'm really worried about Aziz Al-Sharia on that point as well. He's playing fantastically well. He's the new hero in the defense. It's his contract here.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about that.
Are you worried in the sense that they can't afford him?
I'm worried that we will afford him, but he will become more like Fred Warner year after that, because this year we are not getting 100% what we expect from Fred Warner. Just my opinion. I might be wrong on this.
No. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that share your sentiment. I still believe Fred Warner is still playing at an all-pro level. With that being said, he's not playing at the highest level, if that makes sense. He's still playing at a very high level. Look, the expectation for Fred Warner that we have all come accustomed to, and Fred Warner's dad, and Fred Warner's a big fan here in the BEASTwriter family. I have Fred Warner's back 110%. All right, all day, every day. All right, he is the second best off-ball linebacker in my BWF grading system. That has not changed. Darius Leonard's number 1. my numbers and as I grade every single snap. Number 3 is Roquan Smith, who I just mentioned. Number 4 is Devon White. He gives up a little too much in run fit integrity because once offensive linemen lock horns with him on the second level, he can't disengage. He's also very suspect in the passing game. Not too many people talk about this, but he is a liability in the passing game, kind of like Bobby Wagner is. All right, Bobby Wagner, one of the best run defenders in the game, arguably the best off-ball linebacker in the game in terms of run fit assignment, right? Integrity. He's really good at that. But again, Bobby Wagner struggles in the passing game as well. So, when you have a guy like Fred Warner who can do both, because we're talking about one-trick ponies here, right? When it comes to guys like Bobby Wagner, who, I mean, maybe in his prime he was playing at that Fred Warner level, but not anymore. And you look at guys like Devon White, right? Or guys like Devin Bush, right? For the Pittsburgh Steelers. These are guys who are one-trick ponies. They don't do both equally well, and I think that's very rare. So when you see a guy like Fred Warner, who Fred Warner even admitted, he's like, hey, I'm not having the best year this year. And that to me, that speaks volumes about his character. He's actually taking ownership for it. I mean, that's kind of like me, right? When I check out my Beast receipts, if I admit I'm wrong, like, yeah, I got it wrong. 2019 with Eric Armstead, I freaking got it wrong. And I even went on Twitter, hey man, I got it wrong, dude. Eric Armstead, you're having a Pro Bowl type season, right? And then what happened? Then 2020 and 2021 went back to, it's kind of like, it's kind of like playing Texas Hold'em, right? You're playing Texas Hold'em, the flop comes out, the three cards come out, the community cards, and that's the first 3 years of Eric Armstead's career, and it's like, it's shit. And then then the turn card comes out, that's his 4th year, and it's not very good. It's crap. And then the 5th year comes out, and you get rivered. It's like Crimea River, like Justin Timberlake, a college boy. And then he reverts back to, and then the whole deck rolls around, and then we start a new hand of cards. But yeah, I just don't see, when it comes to Fred Warner, I don't understand the misconception that he's playing horrible. Like, he's playing really, really well. And I think it's very difficult for people to understand that concept when you're not grading every single snap like I do. Now, and I don't expect everyone to grade every single snap. You just don't have the time frame to do it. No one has 70 hours in a week to dedicate themselves. It's impossible for some people. I get it. But then that's why I'm here. And that's why I can talk about it very confidently that Fred Warner's doing really, really well. Now, he's not having the best season. In fact, let me just pull up his grades right here so you guys have an idea of actually how well he's doing. So last year in my grading system, Fred Warner was graded obviously the best of the best, right? But here he's sitting at last year as a 7.6 out of a 10, which is an all-pro, first team all-pro level. All right, that's really, really good. 7.3 is the cutoff for all-pro. He was at a 7.6 last year. This year he's at a 7.4. All right, 7.4. Now the gauge is PFF. That's the gauge, right? And PFF, and there's some people at PFF don't like me, and for obvious reasons. They're starting to.
I don't trust PFF.
Huh?
I don't trust PFF.
Okay, so, yeah. So I mean, some guys who used to follow me on PFF, they don't follow me anymore because I'm on BEAStwriter grading system, and they probably don't like it. But whatever, swipe left. I don't care. This is what I will say. I will say that Fred Warner is 0.2 points lower than where he was at this point last year. He's graded at a 7.4. PFF has him at 70.2, which is a 7.0. So there's a 0.4 point differential, which is a half a point differential, give or take. And the margin for error there is very slim. So even though you see Fred Warner getting beat, right, in coverage, I think a lot of it comes down to coverage, right? Like, he gets beat. But a lot of times it's really not his assignment. Like, he's just helping out because I don't want to call out names, but I mean, it's my job. Like, let's say Demetrius Flanagan fouls, right? Can't defend the curl flat. So then he has to take on that role because he gets lost on his assignment. So as the nearest defender, it pins on Fred Warner, and it's really not his responsibility. So I think we have to look at it with a grain of salt and be like, yeah, Fred Warner is not doing as well as we had hoped, but neither is rest of the 49ers. I mean, where's Eric Armstead? I mean, Eric Armstead got paid big money to be the next best edge rusher or interior rusher, whatever the case may be. If you want to slide him inside, cool story, bro. Next to Nick Bosa, and where's that? Where's that pass rush? Where is that pass rush? Because at the end of the day, that's going to help out Fred Warner. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're definitely right. That's the reason. Because that's why, even just going off the topic here, I am still not convinced about that other player, Hufanga. I'm not convinced about him that much. People say that he should replace Start and we can move forward with Hufanga. But on eye test, I don't still convinced that Hufanga can do things, because even last game I saw he was like lost out in the space. He did not have the spatial awareness where his uh, receivers were. So
Yeah.
I'm not jumping into that train right now, ship
No.
right now.
You know what's funny is in my BDF grading system, and I said this in real time once they drafted Talanoa Hufanga, I said he's a liability in pass coverage. And that's not a knock on Talanoa Hufanga. He's a great special teams talent. I saw that. I think that's one of the reasons why they took a flyer on him, because they love his critical factors that you look for from a GM's perspective or a scouting perspective. Literally what you look for when and the NFL draft is coming up, I want people to realize that they necessarily don't look at what we're talking about, like run fit integrity, gap assignment, staying disciplined, staying home. I mean, these are fundamental things that you should already know. But sometimes these coaches and these college coaches don't teach the proper techniques with these players. So you're looking at the critical factors on what can be coached up in your specific scheme at the NFL level. And I think what they saw in Talanoa Hufanga was that type of skill set. Same thing with Taylor Mays. Taylor Mays came out of USC as a second round pick, right? And when Taylor Mays was drafted, people thought he was going to be in the next Ronnie Lott. Well, ultimately, why? Because he was a workout warrior. He had the physique, he had the vertical, he had the 3-cone drill, he had the 40 time, he had the short shuttle time. I mean, he had the broad jump. I mean, you look at all his numbers, they cross-check. What happened was he just didn't get it up here. And I talked to his uncle, actually, who I became friends with, and we talked about it. And he said, yeah, it's unfortunate that it just didn't work out for my nephew. And I think that it kind of goes hand in hand, right? We look at someone and we say, hey, man, can this guy really get it done? Or is he just a guy that has God-given ability? And I think with Talanoa Hufanga, to your point, he struggles on the back end. Look, he's not going to be a two-deep safety who can have the range to play in a cover one when asked to do so as a single eraser role. He just doesn't have that type of speed. He doesn't have that type of recognition. He doesn't have that top of ball hawking ability. Now, I will say this. Jaquaski Tart, who I like, right? And we work together. I know Jaquaski personally. No offense to Jaquaski, but I don't think he's going to return next year. I think they're going to give it to Talanoa Hufanga next year. And unfortunately, whether that's the right scenario to do or not, I think that's what they're going. Here I am on, December 17th, and I'm calling it right now. I'm already looking ahead. I'm already on my draft, on my mock draft. I stayed up till 3 a.m. running my mock drafts already. I'm talking to people in college coaches, talking, hey, who came and talked to your players? I'm doing the legwork on that. Who was there at practices? Who was there? I'm getting that info right now. So what I will say is, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm calling it now. I don't think Jaquaski Tart's going to be returning. I think Talanoa Hufanga is going to be the starter moving forward. I hate to say it.
I don't like that move. And I just want to validate one thing, what you said.
Yes.
That's a really great point you made. Basically, now for us, what happens is, let's take any player, Aaron Banks. When he get
Yeah.
drafted, as fans, what we see is his great plays, better play highlights, right? We don't look at
Yeah.
his bad side or the mistakes he made. Now you see that and you come up with, say, okay, look, this is the good side, but here, look at the bad side as well. What frustrates me is that the people who are getting paid in the organization not doing
Mm-hmm.
their homework, because you see it, you clearly see it, you made these calls way before,
Yeah.
but these people act like, no, we are seeing something else, we are seeing something else
Yeah.
that Beast don't see, and we are going to disagree with you, Beast, and end of the day you are you are coming up correct and they are just getting, I don't know what's wrong
That's
with
why I'm
these
the Beast
people.
Rider. No, no. Honestly, I love doing it. I love saying stuff in real time and cross-checking my analysis in hindsight. I think that's what makes me different, right? And I'm not afraid to put it on the line because my track record speaks for itself. But going up against the best, I'll put my analysis against anyone. I mean, anyone on ESPN, anyone on NFL Network. I'll put my now. I'm very confident. Cockiness and confidence is two different things. As long as you're humble and willing to grow, you're always going to be growing and learning, right? But when you're a know-it-all, think you know it all, which I don't. That's when you're going to start to fall. But I'm very confident in my ability to project and predict things. And when it comes to player analysis, I'm very, very spot on. And again, where players are drafted, that's another thing too. Like, I'm really good at that. So like, you're not the first person that came up to me and said, "How come you don't have a job in the scouting department yet?" Although it has came along. I just Grant knows it came along too. Talked to him about it. He's like, a while ago. He said you should do it. I was like, man, but I don't know because it's a lot of man hours on the road. But anyways, getting back to it, I just love doing it. Maybe one day if it comes along again, the opportunity is right. Maybe I'll swing for the fences. But right now, I'm just having fun, just hopping on here, making money, in the comfort of my own home. I mean, what beats that? Talking to you, rather than being on the road when I can just do it from my home. Being as efficient as possible, Runa.
Yes,
Um,
yes, that's true.
we have word here from the BEASTwriter Family as well. First time seeing Beast with a T-shirt. Yes, I have my BDev
Yes.
T-shirts. If you guys want one, I will connect with me, and you can send me a DM or throw me a comment. They are $30 each. It's 100% ring spun cotton. I'm wearing the black one. This is the gray one. It's poly bagged and sealed and labeled, designed and made in the U.S., specifically Los Angeles. So if you want one, just shoot me a message or a DM. They are $30 each, or two for $50. Waruna, what else is on your mind today?
Not really. I think we had a great discussion about how you grade the players,
Oh, I
everything.
want to know
So,
what but you're on here. I want to know. Well, is there anything that you want to promote? I mean, not. Usually I don't
uh,
do this, and unless I offer it. I don't like people doing self promoting their stuff, but because y- because you've been such a huge supporter of the BWF. What do you have going on right now?
right now, I'm a part of this podcast, Genuine Draft. So, Genuine Draft
Okay.
underscore SF. It's our Twitter handle. So, started just a couple of guys talking about football. Then I started talking about cricket because cricket
Oh,
is my first love. So, I did couple of episodes, had some um, good viewership. So good hold of. I mean, we covered 2020 Cricket World Cup happened recently last month. So talked about it. Where I felt how comfortable and excited I was talking about cricket. So something I really wanted to do for a long time, but never had a chance. So doing these things now weekly, we are doing a one podcast about around the NFL things that we see. So it's just something without boundaries. We cuss at each other, trash talk, just
yeah,
having
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That I always wanted to learn cricket. I have a lot of friends who are Indian, and cricket's one of the things that they play, and it's like I almost think it's like baseball, but then like no, it's not really baseball. And they're trying to explain to me, and the rules are so different than here in America. Um, it's very interesting. I really wanted to learn because that ball it looks heavy. Like that ball's
Yes,
heavy, right? Like
that
you
ball is
can
heavy.
you can get injured, right? But something comes at your head.
Because people can get killed if you don't wear a bouncer. I mean, sorry,
Oh,
headgear. Because in 2014, one of the international cricketers died because he was playing a bouncer. He was playing the shot and ball hit back of his head and he died after a couple of days.
he died. How
Yes, he
heavy is that
died.
ball?
Let me quickly check. Probably 5.5 ounces, as far
Holy
as I
cow!
remember. Cricket, cricket, leather ball.
And you guys use a paddle, right? Like a paddle to hit the ball.
So it's a cricket bat.
Oh, it's a cricket bat. Okay, okay.
Yes. So let me tell how much. Yes, 5.75 ounces means 163 grams.
So it's basically a third of a pound. I know because I weigh my food.
Yes. Yes,
I have to weigh
yes,
my food.
yes.
16 ounces is 1
Yes.
pound. So it's yeah.
Yes.
So it's a third.
It's a heavy
Wow,
ball. Yes.
that is not. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would wear a football helmet with a face mask. Like I'm not playing
Yes.
around. I wouldn't be.
Nowadays, that helmets have everything because there's a funny story. Now, the headgear, the cricketers started to wear headgear in early 70s,
Okay.
1970s. Before then, I mean, cricket was played for over 100 years back then. But there were no headgears, but people would still ball. We call them bouncers, the balls that coming at your shoulder length or head.
Yeah.
So, but they started to wear the what you call the ball guards
Uh-huh.
back in early 1900s. It says that men took 100 years to realize that brain is more important than your balls.
Jeez. This guy. This guy. Um,
I
that's
mean,
interesting. That's interesting.
because
Um,
old day cricketers, they were just wearing a hat and
yeah.
facing a ball that comes at you like 150
What?
kilometers per hour.
That's freaking crazy,
They
dude.
would
Yeah.
still play it.
I'd run away. I'd run away. I'd be like, nah, I'm not dying tonight. Not on my watch, bro. All right. Well, thank you so much, Varuna.
Okay.
I know you have to get going, but thank you so much for tuning in today, man. I appreciate the love, bro. Follow my man
Okay.
Varuna Pura
Okay.
on Twitter. And also his articles on SI, covered for Sports Illustrated, SI, Grant Cohn, channel Naylor Sports, a lot of those guys. Who else is on it? Jack the
Uh,
Hammer's on it.
we, now
Eh,
Jack is separated. He's
oh, he's
covering
not on
Santa
anymore.
Clara.
Okay,
Yes,
see,
Press
okay,
Democrat.
so
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
there are a bunch
so
of guys. Yes.
just go to all SI. You'll find good stuff. Thank you so much, Maruna. I appreciate the love, man. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, we have my man John Jay on here. My man John Jay's been trying to get me on his live stream forever, and I literally looked at your email literally this morning. Thank you so much, John Jay. I'm glad you're on my show. I need to go on your show for
Yeah,
sure. How are you doing today, man?
just every single day, just grinding in life, just grinding every single day. That's what
Rise
I'm
and
doing.
grind.
It's all about
Rise
the
and
grind. Yeah,
grind.
of
All
course.
day grind, all day shine. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my clients. I said it's rise and grind, all day
Mhm.
shine. It's
Yeah.
clockwork on repeat. So, what do you got? What do you got going? What do you got cooking for me today? We haven't talked in a long time. I want to pick your brain on what's your thoughts on in regards to the San Francisco 49ers.
Mhm.
Where do you see the team going? Are they
Mhm.
going to beat the Atlanta Falcons? I want to know your thoughts. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Like, of course, it's been a while, so I'm glad to hop on, talk to you, football in general. And, you know, 13 games into the season, we're 7-6. Before the season started, said that if this team stays healthy, they can go like between 11 and 12 victories if we stay healthy. Well, guess what happened? The injuries. And then, of course, what's been going on, this entire season, and the injuries just don't stop. We're talking about Fred Warner being injured. You know, we've been talking about, is Fred Warner playing well or is he not playing well? He hasn't been playing the way he played, last season. He hasn't been, that guy, we, wanted him. He got paid all that money. But Fred Warner's been playing, the best, he can. Our secondary has always been a headache, and I've been calling it for a while. Where's the corner, etc. So, but one thing I do want to say that I got wrong, but you called it. Nick Bosa, defensive player candidate. This guy is really good. I did a show on him, I think about 2 weeks ago, talking about not just his sack, but his pressure, all that, etc. How good he is being double teamed. I also posted a video of Dante Witter explaining, how good Fred Warner, Nick Bosa is. So I wanted to give you a shout out as well.
Thank
Uh,
you. Appreciate it.
when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not taking them lightly. I know that there's some Falcons, podcasters who've told me, that they have their issues, and that 6-7 record doesn't really mean anything. So but at the same time, as I said, these next games are not going to be lightly. It's going to be the last 4 games. We got the Atlanta Falcons. They're trying to make that playoff push, just like we are. And then we got a short week against Tennessee. That team's pretty good. And
Tennessee
then
probably gonna win that game.
yeah,
Tennessee probably gonna win that game.
then we got the Houston Texans. You never know what can happen. Just a few weeks ago, we lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and then we end the year with the Los Angeles Rams. So
Yeah.
it's playoff football right now for the 40. We have to win games right now. I'm not focusing on that 7 seed, that 6 seed, or that 5 seed. I'm just wanting the team to win football games right now.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see right now. And then, of course, we always talk about the quarterback. Jimmy, it's horrible. He's not, this or that. He has his moments. I will give him that. He has his moments, but there's a reason why Trey Lance is on the roster. So that's what I
Right.
wanted to say about the 49ers season.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the shout out on Nick Bosa being a defensive player of the year candidate. Yeah, it's just things that I see for, and I think what helps me is grading every single snap, just not on the 49ers, but the entire 32 NFL teams and their best players and the important players like Pat Surtain's a rookie, but I still have grades on him. Raquan Davis, I had grades on him for the Miami Dolphins. So, I really do a little legwork on that. So I appreciate it when you give me a shout out and love like that and credit me. But getting back to it, it comes down to the Atlanta Falcons. When we look at the Seattle Seahawks and then we say, oh, we should have beat the Seattle Seahawks. Not really. I thought the Seahawks were actually going to win that game, and they did. And it came down to just the Seahawks just have the 49ers number as of late. Just like the Cardinals and the Rams, right? The Rams have the Cardinals number, right? Or the Cardinals have the Rams number, vice versa, right? And then it's just a divisional game. So when you look at, like, let's say for the instance, the Atlanta Falcons, and you look at it and I say, is this a trap game? I mean, we look back to 2 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2 years ago, 2019, and Julio Jones single-handedly beat him by himself. They didn't have Calvin Ridley there, which they're not going to have this week. The tight end wasn't starting. He wasn't there. And so basically what you had was just Julio Jones, and that was it. Matt Ryan was just playing three flies up to Julio Jones against Emmanuel Mosley in cover 3 coverage or cover 1 coverage. D'Amico Ryans, if he does the same thing that Robert Saleh did back in 2019, you could be in some serious trouble because no boundary cornerback, like you said, and like I have been saying over the course of the past 5 years, can hold up in that scheme other than Jason Verrett, who's injured. Other than Emmanuel Mosley, who does a really good job in my estimation, for the most part. If you look at having good depth, he's a good depth piece. He's a good starting quarterback. Is he going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback? No, that's not him, but he's a good starting quarterback. He's kind of like the same mold of Cam Sutton, his college teammate at Tennessee, who is now off to the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Number 20. So I look at that, and then you take that into account, be like, and really prove what it's worth based on my grading every single snap. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? Okay. But if you don't have Emmanuel Mosley there, you don't have Jason Verrett there, you roll in Ambry Thomas, who I said that you shouldn't have drafted. You draft Dio Lenore, who I said was not going to be very good. You shouldn't have drafted. Aaron Banks, same thing. And then you have players. Now you don't have depth at all. In fact, you have players out there who don't even know how to play a cover 3 scheme. I tweeted this stuff out. I tweeted all the plays, or a lot of the plays that I pointed out or that I saw that were worth noting. Like, for instance, Ambry Thomas didn't know how to play his respective third of the coverage. Numbers to the boundary. That's common sense. Why would you take that curl flat defender when you're supposed to be the deepest deep guy and you're letting that wide receiver run free, giving a free release, and then also on top of that, you're playing with the 6-7 yard cushion. You're playing soft. You're playing soft in your zone coverage on first down, so you're giving up inside slants without bumping them at the line of scrimmage. Mainly because you don't have, you're not physical enough up top to stick and jam the receiver, because we saw 2 penalties for illegal contacts, hands to the face, which resulted in 10 yards of hidden yardage by Ambry Thomas. So you can't even jam at the line of scrimmage. So then if you're D'Amico Ryan, you're saying, oh shit, I can't even press my freaking cornerback, my rookie quarterback, because he doesn't know fundamentals. He doesn't know how to jam the receiver. So now we have to play 5-6 yards back and just give what the defense gives us, or take what the offense gives us, I should say, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. So then you play back, and then Joe Burrow is going to be like, oh shit, okay, well, you're just going to line Tyler Boyd in the slot and run Jamar Chase as a split end, and we're going to run a high-low route, a high-low concept where both receivers are kind of running diagonally like this, and that slot receiver is going to take away the curl flat defender, and because Ambry Thomas is playing with outside leverage, and he's playing with the 6-yard cushion, it's an easy quick slant because that curl flat defender is now off defending on the inside release, and that leaves free real estate for Jamar Chase to work with. These are things that I look for, and when it comes to the boundary cornerback, when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. And Josh Norman, no offense to you, Josh Norman, but you're not any better. You get a peanut punch, cool story, which is really good, really good. You're really good at that, but you also give up 1 penalty, and you're due for 1 celebration when the ball is just clearly overthrown and you're beat. That's what you're good for. And Ambry Thomas, whether it's Ambry Thomas, Dio Lenore, or Josh Norman, if I am any offensive coordinator, I am going to be attacking the boundary cornerbacks to a pulp. And I'm going to put those those 2 deep safeties to a decision. Because what D'Amico Ryans is trying to do is she's trying to apply pressure. All right. it's very important that when you watch coaches film to kind of pick up on tendencies. One of them is K'Waun Williams was blitzing 2 times off the edge in that slot cornerback role, which he often does. But little did you know that Jimmy Ward is coming out to take his slot. Well, what happens when Jimmy Ward comes up and takes that slot? That leaves that left or that right side of the field wide open one-on-one with that boundary cornerback because he's neglecting his zone, playing as the underneath defender. If I know that and I run play action pass, these cornerbacks are going to get toasted in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. I'm telling you, it's bad. And in the draft, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do because they don't have a first round pick. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going to trade up and back in the tail end of the first round. I think John Lynch is going to be like, hey, look, we have some first round picks. I'm going to point it out. Here we are on December 17th. Keep the beast receipt. He's going to move up in the draft. For a targeted player with a gold helmet that's already on his list right now as we speak on December 17th and get that player, whether it's a cornerback or whether it's a safety. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I think they're going to have to go that route. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, I know I'm talking a lot, but hey, it is what it is. Like, it's easy to attack the 49ers secondary, and it's not DeMeco Ryans' fault. Like, I want people to make it known it's not his fault because he has to play quarters coverage. He has to play quarters coverage because he has to protect not getting beat deep. And when you don't have the players on the field who can kind of leverage their splits how you see fit based on the scheme, now you're in a compromised position by default. So as a coach, I'm looking at it like, dude, you can't do this or you can't do that, then we just have to play it honest. We're not going to run any exotic blitzes. We're not going to run a fire zone blitz. We're not going to run a zone blitz. We can't do these things. And I think that's what's going to hurt them in the end. Mm-hmm. And prove me wrong, 49ers secondary, if you're watching this, but I think it was a huge blow that you lost to Killer Witherspoon. I talked about it. That's another beast receipt that checked out. Mm-hmm. Everyone will say, oh no, Killer Witherspoon sucks. Oh yeah, how's that going for you? He's now off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what I say, once he signed that 1-year deal with the Seattle Seahawks, and his freaking cousin was on my show that day, just hours before, asking for my insights because he knows I was on the Killer Witherspoon train. And I told him, I was like, hey bro, he's going to ball out of control whether it's in Seattle or somewhere else. And here we are, got 2 interceptions that big game. So here we are today. I don't know. Mm-hmm. If Killer Witherspoon was on the 49ers now, would he be starting?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yes.
Thank you. No, how come no one's talking about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like a Killer Witherspoon, I would not consider him, a top corner, but at least, there were certain situations that he excelled at the end of the season. And I was saying I wouldn't mind him, returning, for the 2021 season if they were able to find a way, to sign him. Unfortunately, he went to Seattle. Then he got traded to the Steelers. And so, but at the end of the day, as you mentioned, Josh Norman, every time I watch Josh Norman, I just want to, yell in front of my TV because every time he does something, it's not good, especially against the Cardinals game. He went up to a coach and acted like a clown. I don't know why he did that. So that's who he is. It's always who he's been. He's always had, him and Odell Beckham, yada, yada. Ambry Thomas, we drafted him and then, we kept him on the bench for so long. He comes to play. He does some penalties. Some people say it's no big deal, but in 2 of those penalties, Nick Bosa got a sack and Ward or Clark got an interception. And they were taken away. Penalties do hurt. So, yeah, spot on. Yeah, like you said.
I agree with you 100%. And again, I don't, if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, that's fine too. But here's something to point out, right? Like, when it comes to Ambry Thomas, and I talk about that, we talk about some things, it comes down to fundamentals. You know what I mean? It comes down to fundamentals. Like, if you don't know how to leverage your split or how to play a simple zone coverage in a cover 3 or a cover 4, you shouldn't be on the field in the first place. And that's why when Dio Lenore was in there, this is what I said freaking months ago. When someone asked me here in the BW, said, oh, I think it's time for Ambry Thomas. I was like, dude, Ambry Thomas is no better than Dio Lenore. In fact, Dio Lenore is slightly better. Not by much, but probably like 1/10 of 1 point better. Because at the end of the day, look, a guy who's drafted in the 3rd round is not playing, but a guy who's drafted in the 5th or 6th, 7th round, whatever, is playing over you. What does that say about you being drafted in the 3rd round? That you're not nearly as good as the guy who's getting burnt on the field on Sundays, which is Dio Lenore. And now you want to roll with Ambry Thomas, thinking that experiment's going to freaking work out. Oh, let's try that experiment. Can't be any worse. Yes, it can, and we saw it. Ambry Thomas is not good. Now, it's unfair to say because he is a rookie. I will say, I'm not going to call him a bust. Because watch, he could have a Pro Bowl year next year, right? This is the first year is a learning experience for Ambry Thomas, right? And a lot of these rookies, right? So year 2 is really where I'm going to gauge the player. Not necessarily what they do in year 1, but in year 2. Now I'm burning him simply because of fundamentals. Like, it comes down to fundamentals. Like, I don't care if you don't know how to read route concepts. Like, that is something that you're going to learn over time, which even for me, like when I run run game grades, you have to kind of pick up tendencies, know what to look for, what reads to look, what keys to look for when it comes to the second level backers, how the defensive line are playing their techniques, what's going to be dictated on the back end in terms of the wide receivers, where they line up in stretch formation. Does Jamar Chase come across the formation, orbit motion? It's a 3x2 set. How are they playing it? You pick up on tendencies. I'm not saying Ambry Thomas needs to learn those things because in the Pac-12, you really, it's spread formation. It's college football. But learning how to play and understanding how to play your zone coverage, that's common sense. That is common sense, dude. Like, that's like saying, hey man, like in basketball, like, are you mindful? Do you know how to play a 2-3 zone? If you don't, you shouldn't be playing professional basketball. Do you know how to be one pass and deny position? If you don't, if you're playing with your hips open, then you don't know how to play one pass deny. Is your thumb supposed to be up or supposed to be down? Supposed to be down. Okay. Do you know when the ball is in the air, how you're supposed to play the ball? You're supposed to turn your head, look for the ball, and then get your hand up. You can't just run through the receiver. It's going to be a PI. This is fundamentals. It needs to be coached up, and it's something that should have been coached up. So it partly falls on the coaching staff and partly falls on the player. I blame both. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What else do you think is a weak link on the 49ers right now? Oh, actually, no, we're talking bad about the Niners. Let's talk good about the Niners. What do you see doing well with the Niners? Let's talk some good.
Elijah Mitchell. I like him, especially when he was drafted, and when I watched him, I can see, why he was drafted. The dude has a big body and he's fast, a fast guy, and I was trying to see what type of running back, I remember it took me a while. And I'm still having trouble with it. But when you have that good body, but what he's been able to do, especially against the Bears game, boom, of course the Bears defense was not pretty good, but the game, what he's been doing, running the football against the Rams, etc. It's just he keeps getting hurt, but hopefully they can fix that issue, And so another thing I want to point out. We're finally seeing George Kittle, more in the past game. 5 or 6 games in a row. Yeah, 6 touchdowns already, which is pretty good consistency. Last 2 games, average total of over 300 total yards, 3 touchdowns, etc. Mm-hmm. He's been doing a really good job. Brandon Ayuk, he's finally back in the offense, and of course, I don't have to say anything. Deebo Samuel, first 1,000-yard receiver in quite some time. So. Of course, Nick Bosa, I don't have to say anything about him. He's that good. Let's see. Aziz Al-Shair, I like him. I've always liked him. Some people thought last year, we should let him go. He's been doing really good, not just, what he can do as a linebacker. So there's a lot of positives, there's never always going to be good things. There's always going to be bad things with your favorite team, but there's still a lot to talk about that's positive about this team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when it comes to Pro Bowls, right? Because the Pro Bowl voting is underway. You can hashtag Pro Bowl vote, and you will be entered for the vote of the player that you wish. This is who I see as the Pro Bowlers, right? I see obviously Deebo Samuel, like you mentioned, right? I look at guys like Trent Williams. Trent Williams definitely gonna be in the Pro Bowl. Kyle Juszczyk definitely gonna be in the Pro Bowl. George Kittle should be in the Pro Bowl, right? I think he's going to get in. Fred Warner, I still believe he should be in the Pro Bowl. I think he's the best off-ball linebacker in the NFC. I think Devon White's overrated. I think Bobby Wagner is overrated, and my BF grading system will reflect that. Fred Warner does both equally well. The other two players I just mentioned are one-trick ponies at best right now. And Roquan Smith should also be a Pro Bowl, but he's not on the Niners. But I'm just spieling here. Those guys should be Pro Bowl talented players. Aziz Al-Shair, another one. He should be a Pro Bowl player. Aziz Al-Shair is balling out of control out of Florida Atlantic University as an undrafted rookie free agent coming into the league. So he's playing very well at a very high level. He should be in as a Pro Bowl berth. Getting his first team, or not first team All Pro, but getting a Pro Bowl berth as well. So a lot of good players are doing well and living up to the hype. It just, I think Jimmy Ward should be a Pro Bowler, even though he doesn't get the recognition. Jimmy Ward is probably quietly the most underrated player on that entire 49ers team, quietly, and I don't take that lightly. Look at my grades reflect that, right? He's playing at a first team All Pro level. Jimmy Ward, I think, should get a Pro Bowl berth. Jaquaski Tart playing at a high level when healthy. He can't stay healthy, so he won't get that Pro Bowl berth. But a lot of these players are playing really well. The thing it comes down to is execution and knowing how to attack the 49ers defense. And I think you can attack the 49ers defense. I think the blueprint has been set. When you see the Seattle Seahawks and what they're doing on the defense side of the ball, and the Cincinnati Bengals, what they recently just did last week, on the defense side of the ball, is they're leveraging their second level linebackers to take away that outside zone run. So whether it's Elijah Mitchell or Jeff Wilson running the ball, doesn't matter, pick your poison. The second level backers are already in a help position. They're already ahead of the game, because when you leverage your split as an offensive lineman, you have to get to that spot. And if the linebacker's already in that spot, split wise, pre-snap, you're not going to get there. It's just impossible. So now you have to look for the cutback lane, because it's a one cutback system, and the cutback's not there. You take away the cutback, then what? And that's why I think it's going to cause cause for concern if they don't clean that up, if they don't mirror match, if they don't use play action pass, naked bootlegs to kind of keep the defense honest, rolling one way and then going across the grain against the other with guys like Kyle Juszczyk, right? We talk about George Kittle. That's the obvious scenario, right? You can run George Kittle on a naked bootleg, have him lined up on the strong side of the formation, have him kind of leak out as, we see him kind of go down to the ground as if he's blocking somebody, diving at someone's legs, and then gets back up and then runs across the grain for a big gain. But those, you can only do that so much before people like me start picking up on that, right? Mm-hmm. You've been doing that since 2019. But Kyle Juszczyk, use him on wheel routes. They need to use Kyle Juszczyk more. I think Kyle Juszczyk is the X factor in all of this, in this whole entire equation. When it comes to how the 49ers are going to be running their offense, because at the end of the day, it's just very difficult and very vanilla. If Kyle Shanahan, who I believe, in my opinion, is he's a top 5 OC in the entire top 3. I'll put him in top 3. I don't know who's better other than Andy Reid and a few others off the top of my head, but not very many. So Kyle Shanahan really needs to get Kyle Juszczyk involved. And I think when you do that, now you're putting defenses at a disadvantage because at the end of the day, what you're doing is Kyle Juszczyk hasn't been used much throughout the year. So now you have less game film to work off of. Now you can go back to 2019 against the Kansas City Chiefs in that regular season game and say, oh, well, Anthony Hitchens was in coverage and Kyle Juszczyk can be used on wheel routes. And then we take that into the Super Bowl, which is why he was my dark horse MVP. But you can do a lot of different things with Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk, to me, should be involved more in the offense, because simply using him as a decoy, you're doing the team a disservice, because why have him there in the first place? Let's face it, a fullback is obsolete in in today's NFL. It's obsolete. I mean, there's no fullback anymore. All right, fullbacks are gone. You're not going to have that Mike Allstott, John Lynch, right? You're not going to have that William Barnum Floyd in that 1994-1995 season. You don't have number 40 there, right? So it's almost like, how, if you have a guy who can be a Tom Rathman like type of a presence with Roger Craig, you know what I mean? Now you're bringing back that West Coast vibes, right? 2 running backs, you can freaking spread them out wide, coming out of the flats, however you see fit, and take away that short area passing game and using that to your advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Kyle Juszczyk I think there should be a hashtag for Kyle Juszczyk. Mm-hmm. Get Juice involved or something. I don't know. More juice.
Yeah.
Let loose. Let Juice loose. But yeah, anyways. All right. Anything else on your mind before I let you go?
Well, let's see. Before I go, I just want to say, it's always great talking to you, man. It's always good to listen to your insights. As always, man, it's always a privilege just to talk to you, man. So I just wanted to say that before I go.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I will hop on your show. Best times to hop on your show will probably be around, I would say probably around this time.
Okay.
Or around 12. Yeah, 11 or 12. And anytime between any days, best days right now probably be like Monday. Probably be probably be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would be one of those days. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. And follow my man, John Jay. He's also on YouTube. Give him a shout out and give him some love. Thank you so much, John Jay, for tuning in. I appreciate the love, bro.
You too, man. You have a good day, too.
All right, bro. Peace. All right. So we have a lot of questions here. We have Roy Doan from the BEASTwriter Family says, Tolanoa Hufanga is going to be the starter next year. Yes, he is. Exactly. Bay Area Baller 18, my man. Here the BEASTwriter Family says, Tart is a damn good player when he's healthy. You can't argue that. Yeah, when he's healthy, he's a damn good player. Pioneer says, holy shit. The BEASTwriter is wearing a shirt. Anything is possible. You know what? I don't like wearing shirts, but I'm wearing shirts. Again, if you guys want to support the BWF here on YouTube, consider sending me a super chat, super sticker. Also on Twitter, my Venmo is linked in the money icon. So it's called a tip on Twitter. So if you want to send me a tip on Twitter for the work, go ahead and do so. We are also selling these BEASTwriter Family t-shirts. I'm wearing a black one. This is dark heather gray, complete with our 6-point star, individually labeled, made and designed in the USA. Holla at your boy. And if you want one, it's 1 for 30 or 2 for 50. All right. So good quality stuff. I don't skip on quality. Once you get one, even if you're not a BWF supporter, you're going to love the quality of the shirt. It's soft. All right. So you can tell it's really good quality. It's not that material like where you put it in the washer or dryer, it gets all flimsy and kind of like crumples up and it feels like sandpaper against your skin. No. Because I like feeling sexy. I don't know about you guys, but I like being nice and clean, you know? Anyways, no, real talk though. I don't skip on quality. Everyone knows that when it comes to my threads, my Bayer, whether it be Bayer Rooted LLC, whether it be BWF, all things in between. Bay Area Baller 18 says he's been on the field this year mostly. He's missed the game on versus Arizona, and the defense was awful versus McCoy. Luke Michels from the BEASTwriter Family says the 49ers need your scouting work. Hey man, I talked to the 49ers scouts when I was a beat writer. We would talk on this level all the time, whether it be at practice, training camp, rookie camp, OTAs. I would talk to Ethan Wall up in the press box, who is now the director of college scouting, who is man, he's awesome. Ethan Wall should be a GM at some point. He really knows his stuff. Ethan Wall is really, really good. I like Ethan Wall. If you're watching, Ethan, how are you doing today, my man? I would talk to Ethan all the time. You know, I'd be like, hey, what do you think about this player? He's like, yeah, you know, I like that player. And then we talk about that player. And then he's like, well, what do you like about him? And then I would be like, oh, well, this player is good at this. He's basically what I'm doing to you, you know, with you guys. I was watching coaches film, and this is what I see, and this is what I think. It's you're spot on. I'm like, thanks, Ethan. But no, I love doing this. I love doing this. This is what I love to do, and that's why I want to hop on these live streams. You know, I can ramble off the top of my head because you watch so much game film. I mean, shoot, I can name almost every defensive player's weakest link on the secondary right now. If you guys want me to do it, I could do it. Denver Broncos. The weakest link on the Denver Broncos, Kyle Fuller. No surprise there. Came from the Chicago Bears, got released, and then he signed that 1-year deal with the Denver Broncos, reuniting with his DC over at Chicago, who is now the head coach of the Denver Broncos in Vic Fangio. He gets beat all the time. All the time. Whether it be zone coverage or man coverage, he gets beat all the time. James Pierre got benched, and all the Steelers fans were saying, oh, you know, he's going to be so good. I was like, nah, man, he's not going to be good. And he's the weakest link on the team. 49ers, Ambry Thomas, Dio Lenore, no surprise there. So, I don't know. Every team has their weakest link. And then you have those diamonds in the rough, like Cincinnati Bengals, Chidobe Awuzie, you know, San Jose, not San Jose State, but from here in the South Bay. If you guys don't know who Chidobe Awuzie played at Oak Grove High School, my rival. I went to Independence, Piedmont Hills. He went to Oak Grove. He played for Oak Grove. right here in San Jose before moving on to Colorado, and then got drafted in the second round by the Dallas Cowboys, and then now is reaping the benefits with the Cincinnati Bengals, playing alongside Jesse Bates III and Von Bell. So you have a trio of secondary players who are doing really well up there. In the AFC North. So I really like what they have going on in Cincinnati. Obviously, they got Mike Hilton from the from the Pittsburgh Steelers, another rival who wore number 28 with the Steelers and now wears, I believe, number 21 with the Cincinnati Bengals as the slot cornerback, one of the best slot cornerbacks in the game. His game is kind of mirrored to like K'Wan Williams and how D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh like to use K'Wan Williams. Brian Chappelle says, I like Tarvarius Tart. We should keep him. Don't think Jimmy Ward is capable of covering anybody and not a very good tackler. I would disagree with this 100%. I think Jimmy Ward is a Pro Bowl player. He is a very good tackler in open space. He takes proper angles. He knows how to throttle down. I mean, Jimmy Ward's my boy, but Bay Area rooted. I see you, Jimmy. But no, Jimmy Ward, not being biased, Jimmy Ward is playing at an all-pro level. And I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. He is playing at a really, really high level. You look at the film, you look at coach's film, tell me where he doesn't know how to doesn't know how to coverage, doesn't know how to cover in a strict cover shell. When they play cover 3, cover 4, and he can also be brought down as an underneath defender. You see this where the safety is now being brought down in weeks 13 and on. And I'm seeing this as I look around the NFL game. And again, only certain players can do these types of things, and Jimmy Ward's one of them. Jesse Bates is another. Minka Fitzpatrick is another. I'm naming these guys because, yeah, they're household names, and Jimmy Ward should be a household name, and is not, because he doesn't get the sexy interceptions. Don't be a box score reader. Justin Simmons is another one, right, off the top of my head. Buda Baker, interchangeable. Tyrann Mathieu, interchangeable, even though he plays strong safety as opposed to free safety. So you look at the dynamics of all and the pulse of all 32 NFL teams, and then you tell me which player Jimmy Ward is not better than. I think he's a very good tackler. I think he can cover. He takes proper angle to the ball carrier, knows how to hawk tackle, which is taught by Robert Saleh, squeeze through the thighs, knows how to throttle down, attack the inside hip or the near hip of the receiver or the ball carrier to prevent the cutback lane. That's what we saw in yesterday's overtime win when it came to the Kansas City Chiefs on Travis Kelce. You saw missed tackles because they weren't using proper fundamentals and attacking the near hip of the receiver. And Jimmy Ward is really good at attacking the near hip of the receiver. Pioneer says, I'm definitely watching that and never playing now. Thanks for here we go. What else do we got going on here? Aaron Harris from the BEASTwriter Family says, which DB has graded higher by the BWF grading scale, Richard Sherman or Josh Norman? I thought it was going to be Richard Sherman or Josh Sherman. Well, obviously, based on yesterday's game, week 14, where freaking Richard Sherman got bailed out on the INT. If you guys missed it, watch the coach's film on the Tampa Bay Bucks game in week 14, where he got bailed out on the INT. He was beat, and the ball, I don't know why Josh Allen threw that ball. He just threw 3 flies up like a game of backyard football, and it went right to Richard Sherman, and then Richard Sherman was like, oh yeah, man, I got this interception, it's all me. Like, no, dude, it was just a bad throw by Josh Allen, bad play. But no, Josh Norman is better than Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is give me Josh Norman over Richard Sherman. That's how bad both players are. Pinor says, so glad not seeing JG. I don't know what CG is. The Beast Rider is better. I don't know what CG is, but thank you so much. I appreciate the love, man, and mahalo for the love and support as always. What other questions do we have here? Lunar Mystic, if I was built like Beast, I would never wear a shirt. What is up with you guys and me wearing shirts? You know what's funny is, all right, so I went to my storage unit, off topic, but I went to my storage unit, because I lived in San Ramon for a little bit, had my own place in San Ramon, my own bachelor pad, if you will, and I have this bar, right? And I like to drink, right? I was in a fraternity, I like to drink, whatever. Phi Kappa Psi, Phi Psi, holla at your boy at San Diego State, vice president of my pledge class, whatever. So I held this housewarming party, and my bar is just marked up with like obscene stuff by my boys. The girls and the ladies, they wrote nice stuff, like, oh, thank you for having us, blah, blah, blah. Take your shirt off, whatever. And so the funny thing is like I've been having my shirt off since I was a kid. Like I don't know. I run hot. Like I remember my mom was telling me, she says when we would go in the snow and we would go skiing or snowboarding or whatever, and you were just a kid, you would always have your shirt off, and I'd try to get your shirt back on and say you're gonna catch a cold, and no, you'd have your shirt off and you'd be sweating. So like yeah, so some things never change. And there's pictures of me literally half naked, unwrapping Christmas presents because I didn't want to wear a shirt. I don't know. I just don't like wearing shirts. You know, I feel restricted wearing shirts. Can you imagine me wearing a suit and tie? And people are like, dude, the day I see that is gonna be nuts. But no, I don't know. I just don't like wearing shirts. I just don't like wearing shirts. Arun Singh says, finally I see my brother live. What's up, Beast? How you doing, man? I see you. Arun Singh from Big Boss Man Pizza. Thank you so much for the love. I see you. I see you. I see you. Arun Singh says, Balky is the rat. I wouldn't say Balky's the rat. But yeah, you guys, if you guys haven't heard the news, Urban Meyer is now fired. No surprise here in the BWF. I called it, and well, maybe because I had inside information, but anyways. Matt Cook and Smoke Sports says, what's up, BEASTwriter? What's going on, man? Mahalo for the love on this Aloha Family Friday. I hope you are doing well. We can talk football. If you guys have any questions, this is a live stream. If you guys are on YouTube, which you guys want to hop on, there is a YouTube live stream link where you guys can hop on the live show and ask me questions or just engage with me on this platform here on YouTube. Also, if you guys have your own thoughts that you want to get across your mind, or if something's on your mind and you want to get my thoughts on it, or you just want to spew your thoughts and vent, that's what we're here for. So let me know. Other than that, I'm probably going to hit the gym. I got to get my gym workout in. In fact, speaking of having no shirt on, well, when I post my workout videos, and yes, I am considered a fitspiration as an Evogen athlete. Obviously, I'm not just a random guy who takes off my shirts for videos, because that would be weird, but I do get paid doing it. So anyways, as I shoot for my pro card, that's what we do. We take video, or that's what I do. I shouldn't say, I can't speak for anyone else, but to be honest, everyone does it. If you have the look, why not, right? But anyways, if you're showing how to work out a certain muscle group, you can't really see it through a shirt, or even through a cutoff shirt or a tank top. You can't really see the movement or the muscle group that you're trying to educate people on. And so that's why when I post these videos on Instagram, it's socially acceptable, because it's Instagram, because it's fitspiration, it's an Insta model, but on Twitter, oh no, you can't do it. Oh man, then people get all weirded out. It's like, dude, like if you don't like it, swipe left. I don't give a shit. Like whatever. Like if you don't like it, someone else will. Like I can't help it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'll be posting that video because you guys are asking for my workout videos, and a lot of you guys don't have an Instagram. You guys are on Twitter, or you guys are on YouTube. So if you guys want those videos, I'm going to be posting those for you. I promise you I would. I'll be posting my last night's video on my back workout on isolateral high row, and how you can compensate those gains when you, so you're not overcompensating, your shoulders not rotating. You know, you got to make sure that's supination as opposed to subnation. So a pronation, subnation, supination, pronation. So, gosh, I can't talk right now, but it's probably because of the pre-workouts hitting. But yeah, I'll be talking about all those different things, and we can go ahead and get engagement. Now, I was getting some notifications on my past live streams or YouTube videos, and you guys are leaving comments. I'm going to get to those. I figure like it'd be a good way for me to engage for future YouTube live streams. So after this one concludes, because not everybody can catch this live, go ahead and leave your comments, because I do get every single notification on my phone. And what I'm going to do is, once I get that notification, is I am going to go ahead and respond to you on the next live stream. So that way you guys have something to look forward to instead of writing it out. I'll be hopping on the live stream answering that question, or that specific question tailored to your needs. All right. So we have Mind of Jerry in here. What the hell? Jerry, are you in here? Oh, Jerry froze. Jerry froze. Jerry, you're frozen. Okay, Jerry froze right now. He was trying to come in. Jerry, come in if you can hear me. Mind of Jerry is about to hop in. Mind of Jerry is unfrozen.
What's up, man? What's up,
dude,
bro?
what are
Sorry
you doing?
for,
I miss you. I miss you, Jerry. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I've just been really busy, with like work and everything else. It's the end of the year shopping, but
Oh shit.
been listening to your streams, and you're doing a pretty good job, man. I love your analysis earlier on Ambry Thomas and everyone else. So it was spot on. And dude, I'm disappointed you didn't take that scouting job. You would have been perfect for that.
Oh, sorry about that. That was shoot.
Can you hear
My
me?
bad, dude. That
Oh.
was from a coach.
Oh shit! You hung up on a coach?
Oh, I didn't hang up on him. Oh, yeah, actually, I did. He's watching this right now. Screw it, dude. Whatever. You can just call into the live stream. No, he can't. He can't do that. He'll get in trouble. But no. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What were we talking about before?
Yeah,
Coach
say you got a job or you had an offer as a scout.
Yeah, I mean, I had opportunities in the past about potentially going into that field, and at the time, there was a lot of stuff going on. One, I was a beat writer with the 49ers. Secondly, I was competing, right, and that took a lot. And I was going for trying to get nationally qualified to turn pro. And as you know, that's a full-time job and a half.
Bro, you're staticky again. You're staticky.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm staticky.
There we go.
Okay, how is it now?
Yeah, it's better.
Is it? Let me check. Let me check it just to make sure.
Yeah, you're good.
It's better. It's probably gonna cut off. It's probably gonna cut off again.
That's your mic, bro.
Anyways,
your mic.
Dude, I'm trying to save up, man. That's why if you guys are watching this, give it a thumbs up. The video, if you guys, or send me a super chat or super sticker. I mean, why not? If you're watching it and you want to, I would really appreciate it. It would help with the, with the what do you call it? The streaming experience. Like, what is the term?
It's for yourself,
since I'm a streamer now, I'm no longer a fitness model or just I am a streamer, as we call them.
You're a YouTuber. Is that what we call it?
YouTuber. Oh, wait. You're a YouTuber too. So what do we call ourselves now? YouTuber, influencer, content creator.
Content creators, dude. That's the best.
No, screw it. Man, there's so many different terms. They're like, when people ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I can't explain it because like the terms that they're like, oh, well, how do you, even my sister's like, well, how have you been getting paid all these years? Like, well, it's based on the algorithm by YouTube, based on the traffic from when I had my website. It's based on, all these different factors. And,
you know what to tell them?
People pay for my analysis.
You should tell them you're the BEASTtuber. That's what you are.
But even my sister, she knows because it goes on Facebook and you're on my Facebook, my personal page, and everyone's there's a lot of people chiming in on there. But it's funny because I don't go out of my way to tell you like, oh, this is who I am. Like, I just feel like when I go to the gym, right? People say, oh man, like, how do you get like that? How do you get this look? That look. And then I don't have time to be like, oh, well, I kind of fell into it, and I was a Niner insider as a beat reporter. And then I kind of delved into the fitness thing. And then I was really going pro now for that. And then I was sponsored by Evo Gym, which is the #1 supplement. I mean, that right there took 30. People are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? This is so much information. So I just say, just Google me. Like, just Google BEASTwriter and stuff will pop up. I don't know. It sounds like a douchebaggy thing to say, but it's like,
there we go.
I don't have time to explain like exactly what I do because even I don't know sometimes what I do. Like, it's crazy. It's just so much. Like, Jerry, do you know what you do?
What do I do in terms of work or what?
Yeah, like no, well, for like YouTube, like what do you call yourself? Do you call yourself like a YouTuber? Honestly, like I never looked at myself as a YouTuber.
A podcaster, right? Or a podcaster.
Okay, so you call Okay, so you call yourself a podcaster.
Podcaster, casual fan.
A casual fan. No, I don't like that one. I like podcaster better. It sounds more professional.
Yeah.
Say.
No, we just say.
I'm a paid podcaster. It's really funny because even you ask anybody like, how do you pay your bills? Do you really get paid doing that? People actually pay. Yes, people actually pay me for my analysis. No shit. How do I pay my own bills, man? How do I make a living?
Right.
It's funny.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Sorry, I think you're doing a good job. You're adding a lot of value to the fans, so I think that's why people keep coming to your channel. Like you give a lot of insight that I haven't heard before, and you're spot on in your predictions. That's amazing. You know, the
Yeah.
more right than wrong. I think that's a really good thing. You know, so. But
Yeah.
how
Well,
are you
thank
doing
you.
fantasy football these days, man? Are you
What's
like in playoffs in fantasy football?
I I barely made the playoffs, dude. I made a trade. So I had George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. So I told
I
people
told
were
you never
laughing at
draft a
me.
Niner, bro.
I love drafting Niners. I love drafting Niners. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I kept George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk because one, I knew that Shanahan. That's why I drafted Brandon Ayuk because I knew one, I knew he was gonna have a big year at some point, at some stretch. When he was in the doghouse, that's why I kept him. In fact, you could release Brandon Ayuk and no one was picking him up. People were picking up other players in other leagues. So I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm not gonna freaking. I know what Shanahan's doing to motivate Brandon. It's a motivational tactic. There's
Right.
no way, and that's what I've been told too. And that was my gut, and that's what I've been told. So I'm gonna hold on. I'm not gonna sell this stock. I'm gonna hold on to it. And I held on to it, and here we are today. And he actually helped me make the playoffs, along with George
Yeah.
Kittle. George Kittle actually is the main guy. Let's not
Right.
get it twisted.
Yeah,
Um,
I was about to say the second or first best tight end of fantasy. I think makes a
Yeah.
big difference there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy though. But no, I had to swing some trades. I ended up getting Joe Mixon, but gosh dang, that guy is so banged up right now. I don't know if he can hold up. I
I
know
don't
they're
think
paying
so.
Perrine a lot. They're paying
Dude,
Perrine a
hit
lot.
the
So
waivers, man. Hit the waivers on that one.
yeah,
For
yeah.
me, I got lucky too. I got lucky on my stuff. I
You did?
had
Who do you have?
Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper Cup. Those are my core
Yeah.
four. So
Yeah.
those are like pretty solid. And QB, it's like Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts.
Woo.
That's pretty rough. But tight end, I have Dawson Knox right now. So,
Who do you have? Oh,
Dawson
Knox
Knox.
from
Buffalo.
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. That guy's
He-
solid, dude. So
No, he is. He is, and they like to use him. Allen likes to throw to him a lot for a tight end for what they like to do.
yeah.
As I grade every single snap of Knox, he's one of the most underrated tight ends. Kind of like, well, he's not on the level of like a Mike Gesicki because I think he was underrated last year. But Mike Gesicki for the Miami Dolphins is a guy who like, why doesn't more people talk about? He's freaking good, dude. Mike Gesicki's good.
I know, man. He is. I think Pat Fryermuth is actually really good. He's the most
There you
underrated
go.
one, dude. Fryermuth. The mute is loose, you know?
Dude. And I predicted him to be drafted by the Steelers in the second round, just like Najee Harris. I predicted them to be drafting Najee Harris in the first.
Dude's legit, man. He is legit. I like him.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
I knew he was going to be something good. I knew he was kind of in the mold of a Mark Bruner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For the Pittsburgh Steelers over the years, and they kind of like that type of a tight end. I look at Vance McDonald, right? When Vance McDonald ended his career in Pittsburgh, that big inline blocker, but can also be a good pass catcher. Coming out of Rice University, second round, I think he was drafted number 55 overall. Had a great, strong Senior Bowl. I saw that type of measurables when it came to Pat Fryermuth, and I was like, you know what, this guy gets it. Now,
yeah, man, that guy's
Muth is freaking fun to watch.
The Muth is loose. That's my favorite term.
Yeah, every time I say that, and we say juice, right, for Kyle Juszczyk, and who else? Daryl Johnston, when he was at the Dallas Cowboys, you would say Moose because that was his nickname was Moose.
Nice.
Who else is out there? Cooper Cup? Do they say Coop?
Coop. Yeah, that's what they do.
Or is that for Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper too, right? Coop.
Yeah. Coop. Yeah. Anyone who's like close to Cooper, gets that moniker.
Yeah. What does Ayuk? Does Ayuk have one?
Ayuk? No, not really. I mean, a Dugan, right? They go
Ayuk.
Ayuk. Yeah, because like Ayuk, like I know, like Street Fighter, like
from Street Fighter, like a Dugan.
That's what they do for him, at least, So they use text obvious juice, right? They do juice for him. Debo, what do they do for Debo? What like Debo?
Debo. It sounds like Tebow.
Right?
Oh man, should we do a Tebowing celebration? No.
Oh, speaking
Uh
of Tebow, dude, what do you think about Urban Meyer's being fired? That was a
what an
huge
idiot,
news.
dude. What an
Yeah,
idiot.
dude.
What an idiot. Like I saw your comment and I
Laughable.
was gonna like it, but I was like, dude, if I don't like it, then I think
Yeah, you probably get in trouble.
I saw it. I was laughing out loud, but
Kicking the
I
kicker,
didn't want to.
bro.
I didn't want to do anything. But no, let's face it, dude. Urban Meyer is out for a reason. He did it to himself. Jim Trotter from my mentor
Yeah.
from NFL Network,
Yeah,
and Steve
yeah.
Weiss, right? They're part of the BWF as well. They called it out, man, when it came to like Tim Tebow. Why is Tim Tebow?
That was ridiculous. Like, what a bad move.
It was a bad move, and everyone was talking about it. But then,
Yeah.
like, how can you have a circus like that? That's a slap in the face. There's so many people in the HBCU, right? I don't think the HBCU gets talked about a lot. The HBCU, everyone, the historically black college universities, they don't get enough love. And we talk about a lot of these HBCU players ended up being Hall of Fame players, and they're now starting to pick up on that. Why wasn't the HBCU tight end given the opportunity as Tim Tebow, who never played the position in years?
Yeah,
let
that's
alone
ridiculous.
football in years. That to me right there is a slap in everyone's face. Hey, look, like, just because you're a household name, you're gonna get the pass. That's like asking me to play baseball.
And
No.
dude, they had Dan Arnold, right? Dan Arnold's actually decent, I thought, but
Yeah.
And you're staticky again, just to let you know. There we go. You're muted. There.
Hold on. I'm gonna switch mics.
Okay. Giving up on the mic, huh?
Well, I figure this one's better, but I don't know. I should switch. There's different ones. Anyways, I gotta get better equipment. Is it better now?
But yeah, you're good. You're good. So I would say Dan Arnold's pretty good already. Like, why do you have to go with Tebow, right? Like, I think he's not using Dan Arnold to his potential. I know lately Dan Arnold got hurt, but he was looking pretty good for a couple games up until our game, right, against the Niners. That's where he really sucked. But everyone sucked in that game.
What do you like? What did you hear? Like, okay, honestly, let's talk about that. I want to talk about Urban Meyer a little bit because it's not throwing shade at Urban Meyer. Urban, if you're watching, which you're probably not, but if you are,
he's crying with his
I don't
millions
care.
of dollars.
BEASTwriter does not. BEASTwriter does not give a shit. I'm just gonna say what's on my mind. I don't unfiltered. I don't give a fuck.
Dropping the S-bomb.
I don't care. Look, Urban Meyer, you cannot kick people or physically harm somebody and just say, because I'm the freaking coach, I can do whatever the hell I want. Let me tell you, if you did that to me, I'd be hanging you upside down.
Dude, how about
like
calling
this.
assistants losers, right? Like, how inappropriate is that? Like, how about he wins something first before he calls someone else a loser? You know what I mean?
That's another thing. That's another thing that I want to touch base on. All right, and I already tweeted this out. I have a, and this is not coming from my childhood friend's husband. I'm not saying okay. This is not from him. All right.
All right.
This is just from me. All right. Anytime you call and you blame someone else for your downfalls, that's a direct reflection upon you for your lack of leadership qualities. As a leader, I'm a business management major, at San Diego State, for people who want to know out there. Yeah. As a leader or managing any type of team or any type of structural unit, you want to take ownership, and attitude reflects leadership. And if you don't have the right attitude, what kind of precedence does that set for the downward pyramid, so to speak? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for me in the BWF, I'm the leader of the BWF, but you guys are my lifeline, right? If I go to you guys and say, gosh damn, Jerry, you couldn't fucking hop on this live stream. How dare you? When you texted me, what are you? Like, what are you? You're a piece of trash. And then you'd be like, look, Ryan, excuse me, but I have my own life to live. Thank you very much.
And you'll be like, I'm getting the hell out of here now. You know?
And then I'd be like, well, I lead this. I'm the leader. I'm the coach of. And then I kick you. Like, what are we doing?
It's like laughable just to hear about it, like the stories like that came out of it, like the bar picture. I mean, that was one. The handshake with the Titans coach, like that was ridiculous. It's like everything about it is so comical and outrageous. But I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it kind of shows the insecurity of Urban Myers, right? Like he was really insecure, obviously. That's why he had to flaunt it out there. So
I just don't understand why you would go about and all joking aside, why you would even go to that extreme to prove your point. Like if I'm trying to motivate and I coached, right? If I'm
yeah,
trying
he's
to motivate
insecure,
a
man.
player, you
Yeah.
don't you know it goes both ways. I coached and I played.
Yeah.
The first thing that a coach has ever done to me physically was he would pull me by my jersey up close, like he would do a Bobby Knight and pull me close to my jersey, and that was normal. But to me, I'm used to that. That I mean, because we were really good, and that's how we
Yeah.
won. I'm not saying physically harmed me or in any way, shape, or form, but it actually kind of like, was I pissed off? Yeah,
It
because you
woke you up a little
physically,
bit. Yeah.
yeah, you physically, like literally, you're pulling me by your jersey, but you're not like, you're not gonna hit me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
But
know he's not
also,
gonna
you
hit me.
also remember the difference is you were young then, right? These are men that he's working with. I think that's
Yeah,
why
there
it
you
worked
go.
in college. It
That's
didn't
true.
work in the pros. These are guys with families, they're pros, they're getting paid probably more than him than some of them, right? And he's
Yeah,
doing that crap too. Like no one's gonna tolerate that. Like
yeah.
what would they? College kids would do it because they know he can win in the college game, but he hasn't proven anything in the pros yet.
I mean,
So
Bobby Knight had the same issue, right? The ESPN dirty for 30, not
30
30 for 30.
30.
Dirty for the whole dirty for 30. Because it's the dirty. You want the dirty on
Yeah.
what's going on?
Get
But
the
they're
dirt
gonna give
on
you the
somebody.
dirty. Yeah, so I labeled it dirty for 30. So anyone that knows me knows I call it dirty for 30. It's like, no, it's
Hilarious.
called 30 for 30. I say, no, it's called dirty for 30. Um, ESPN, if you're watching, I apologize. I'm joking. But no, if you watch that documentary on Bobby Knight and what happened with him, yeah, he was a winningest coach, but at the end of the day, what happened? Like, it got the best of him in the end. Like, you can't choke players.
Can't do
like,
that. Can't do that.
and doesn't matter. Winning cures everything. That's the lingo that, that's the term that's being thrown out there.
But you ain't gonna win if you're
But
not
you
doing
have,
that stuff.
yeah, but also there has to be some humanistic approach to it, to where it's like, winning is not everything. There's more important
Right.
things in life than just winning.
Like,
And
how
if you
about
don't
mutual
see that,
respect,
you're
right?
gonna be, huh?
Mutual respect. Like, where's the respect there? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was everything he did was like a very disrespectful move, and it came up and did him.
Yeah.
All right, man. I have to run these, but just wanted to say hi and like
Oh,
keep up
thank
the
you,
good
man.
work. All right. So
Appreciate the
see you
love,
later,
bro.
man. Have a good one, dude. I'll keep listening.
All right, buddy. Take
Can't
it
be
easy.
on
Tell me if it's
talking
staticky.
anymore, but I'll be listening, bro.
All right,
So,
tell me if it's staticky. Shoot me a text. All
I
right,
will.
thank you so much.
I will, bro.
All right, that was Jerry Yang here in the BWF, and we're going to wrap this up shortly. I know you guys had some questions. If you guys had any questions on Twitter, let me know. Ooh, breaking news right here on my phone. Raiders-Browns will not be played Saturday as scheduled. We'll move to Monday night doubleheader with Vikings and Bears per Adam Schefter. Wow. Because of the COVID incidents, that's what's going on right now. If you guys haven't heard by now, the Cleveland Browns have been hit by the COVID bug. Baker Mayfield's out. I think Nick Mullins was in line to start. Larry Mullins, if you're watching, because you follow me on Twitter and we engage on Twitter, if your grandson is starting, I was hoping for that, but I don't know. Anywho, what else we got going on here today, guys? Let's look at what we have and what we don't have. That was big news. I'm kind of surprised that they would just postpone the game, because throughout the week they're like, no, we're not going to postpone the game, and it's like, you kind of have to postpone the game because it's like an auto loss for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know, the COVID protocols, man. COVID's kicking up, man. You guys don't think it's real? For all of you that don't think it is real, it's real. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. If you liked what we had to say, please hit the like button. Also, give us a thumbs up and subscribe in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Aloha Family Friday. Stay tuned for the next live stream, possibly on Monday. I'm not sure. I'll be out of town in Sacramento with family and friends. So if I'm not able to hop on Monday, I'll be back on Tuesday for Taco Tuesdays. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day. BEASTwriter out.